client would come to me back in 1996 and say, hey, I've got 15% I saved up for a down payment on a house, I'd turn that one client into two transactions within that given year by advising, hey, you don't own a house, buy a triplex. You could do it with as an owner occupant with 3.5% down, and then you're only going to have to stay there 3 to 6 months. Now you have to stay there for a year, or you need to justify that you're upgrading from your fourplex to something better. So that's what I would tell my clients. They'd buy a fourplex, they'd live in the unit, rent the other three. Within 3 to 6 months, they'd move out. And with the other money that they saved, I'd put them into a house. So then I was able to do two transactions, and I'd advise them, hey, this fourplex, don't get too attached to it. In 2 to 3 years, I'm going to relist it for you, and I'm going to sell it. Here's what it's going to be worth based upon cap rates, internal rates of return, and cash on cash. And so this was part of the value add that I would advise them. I'd place an entry and exit strategy that I knew that I was one of the only few people that could explain to them that. So it was a way for me to be a value add to the client, show them the value add of the property and how to exchange it into multiple properties. Long story short, within 2 to 3 years, I'd sell their fourplex, exchange them into 8 or maybe 10 units, and just continue this process. Rule that you get a capital gains tax exemption of $250,000 or more. So I'd use this as well as another leveraging point as a value add. Because now remember, I'm telling clients who are coming to me with 10 or 15% down that they've saved up for a house, that you could buy an apartment building, a house instead, in that order, fourplex, house, two transactions, don't get attached. And so I'm creating this leapfrog effect, but at the same time, I'm saying, hey, now that you're getting this cash flow that I'm setting up for you from these buildings, you know, that house I sold you, list that again with me, because you now have up to a $500,000 capital gains tax exemption, both state and federal. You could set aside an additional money that you could go out and buy more apartment buildings from. But I'm also giving them the steps and the knowledge that, hey, if you want to get that dream home, start out with something that's smaller, that's going to be able to accumulate value. And then when you sell it in 2 to 3 years, you've got this other capital gains tax exemption bucket that you could use to buy a better home and more apartment buildings and repeat the cycle.